Welcome to the Brubacher and Beyond podcast, where we are exploring the people, projects, and progress shaping the construction industry. In this special Women in Construction series, we are highlighting the leaders, builders, problem solvers, and innovators who are making the impact across our fields. From the job site to the office, from the project management to equipment operators, women are helping drive the future of construction. Today we'll hear real stories about career paths, challenges, opportunities, and the advice that can help the next generation step into the industry, whether they are established in their career or just testing the waters. This conversation is designed to inform, encourage, and inspire. Let's get started. Welcome to the Brubacher and Beyond podcast, where we are shaping the world we live in. So you can find our podcast commonly refreshing, hopefully. In our episode today, we are talking about women in construction, and we are highlighting our team members internally and externally that we are associated with in the Brubacher excavating world. And today we have a special guest that is internally inside of Brubacher, and I will let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Erin Perry. I am a project engineer here at Brubacher.
Awesome. Give us some background. If you were to describe yourself, how would you describe yourself?
Oh, wow. I've always been kind of involved in outdoor activities. My family owns a dairy farm. I'm very used to it. So coming into construction was super natural for me. And I'm super excited to be here at Brubacher.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that you have an advantage over everybody else is your background in farming. I just think that the farming community intertwines with construction so easily, and there's so many intangibles from farming that you got to make things work, right? Like the animals need to be fed, stalls need to be cleaned, and if something breaks, you figure it out and you need to overcome it, right? So I think if you take just that mentality out of the farming industry and use it into construction, it goes a long way with initiative.
I agree, definitely. When I first started, I was super nervous. I really didn't have a construction background, but I knew that I at least had some of the skills that would help me transition into pretty much any role in construction.
Yeah, and the equipment is usually green or blue in the farming industry, right? It's a little bit of yellow, but...
This is red.
Okay, red, yes. All right.
Place.
I did forget about that. Yes, red. So let's go down your path here in the construction world. How did you get started? What was your first job? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So when I graduated high school, I definitely was not positive what I wanted to do. I already had a job on the farm, which I loved. I absolutely loved. When I had done that for a couple years, I tried the college thing, which is great for some people. It just wasn't really mine. And so what I realized, though, is like if I wanted to move out of the house, if I wanted to buy a vehicle, basically just move forward in my life. The farm is great. It unfortunately does not pay as well as
the construction industry.
The construction industry in general. My family is very lucky. I was very proud to be a part of that. But I just thought maybe it would be a good idea to try something different. And I was talking to some friends, and he told me that he thought this would be a good fit for me and that I think it would be something that I could grow in. Mm-hmm. So I just up and applied, worked at a couple other places first. I definitely felt like I did not know what I was doing and I was not qualified, but the people I worked with were super helpful and it was nice and I really enjoyed my career path so far.
So what has your career path been like? Did you start as a laborer?
I did.
Talk through that a little bit.
Sure. I started as a laborer, eventually working my way up to a lead pipe layer, which I loved. That was probably one of my favorite positions I've ever been in.
People that don't understand that, what is that?
Sure. So that would be like new underground utilities going in. Your sewer, your storm, your water. I did mostly new construction. So
what were you in charge of? How many people were on your crew? Walk through a day in the life of a pipe super.
Right. So this was before I was a pipe super. So I was a pipe laborer first, moving up to a pipe layer. And I usually worked on a 5 to 6 man crew. You have your main excavator operator your supervisor, your
Loader
operator, thank you, and backhoe operator. And if you were lucky, you had a laborer as well.
Okay.
So that was.
So you were the lucky one.
I was
starting out. Okay, see.
And then I worked out of town for a while up in State College, and the supervisor I was working under decided to leave the company I was at. So my boss called me up. He's like, "Do you think you could handle being a supervisor?" I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing, but I will give it a shot for you."
Awesome. The opportunity knocks and you move forward, right?
Yes. Again, I felt very underqualified, but at the time you just kind of do what you got to do and you figure it out as you go. So I tried that out for a while I was working out of town, and when I came back, I just wasn't super confident in all of my skills yet. So I was like, can I please be trained a little bit more, or just maybe hold off on being a supervisor? So what I did at that point was I became a trainer for new pipe layers coming in. So I bounced around to different jobs and worked with new people and really get them to the point for what we were looking for. And after that, I became a field office manager. So I worked with the supervisors closely, getting all of their materials together and ordered, as well as working at the yard. And then the opportunity at Brubacher came up, so I'm now a project engineer.
Now, how long have you been with Brubacher?
I have been with Brubacher since June of last year during the acquisition.
Okay, so you were part of the Able acquisition. Then with Brubacher, you've been with Brubacher. How has it been here? And you mentioned training. How has the training been? If we can go in a little bit more detail about that. What do you think has been successful here that makes it a little special at Brubacher?
Sure. For me, when I came over, I didn't know what to expect. I was going into a position that I really didn't have any background in. So I worked with the people to transition all of our equipment and our tools, and worked with that first before I started getting trained in my PE position. And when I got placed in my project manager, I made it aware, like, I have no college background in this. I feel underqualified, but I'm more than willing to learn whatever you need me to learn and do whatever I need to do. And at first I felt like I was not very helpful, but I've gotten to the point now where I feel like I can at least hold my own to an extent.
Yeah.
And at least take some of the load off.
Yeah. I say the construction industry, most people don't notice it. It's like a duck. Above the water, you see the calmness, and you portray that, and you want to make sure that everybody around you feels calm. But underneath the water, your feet are going a million miles a second, right? And internally, you're like, what's going on? And that's the way that I portray the construction industry sometimes, when you have that opportunity. And in the construction industry, there's a lot of opportunity in filling a role. It might be vacant, and people will be promoted within. So what's a daily role like you for today? Like, what's your daily and weekly roles if someone wanted to get into your position?
Sure. I would say my role in general is to make my project manager's life easier.
Okay.
So he is not as all over the place, and I can make his schedule a little bit more calm and get some of the stuff out of the way for him. Whether that's working on a buyout or RFIs, requests for information for anyone who doesn't know what that is, any kind of paperwork in general that I can do to make their life a little bit easier, working alongside of the site supervisors, getting information for them, dealing with the engineers for different projects, all sorts of things.
So how would you recommend, if someone was thinking about getting into the construction industry, how should they start? What path did you take to start?
I don't want to say the bottom, but I did start as a pipe laborer, which is a pretty entry-level position where maybe you don't need as much experience, but it's a great way to start and to grow, because if you show initiative there, a lot of times different positions will offer up. Normally, for me at least, it was a pipe layer position after that, to which I followed up being a pipe supervisor and a trainer and a field office manager. I went through a lot of different steps. To me, I wanted to show that I could do my job to the best of my ability at the time, to the point where I could prove that to other people. Not that you need to do that.
You didn't skip steps. You started from the bottom and worked your way through. Now, how long did that take? What's your span of your career right now?
I started when I don't Oh, I was 21 when I started in construction. I'm now 29, so about 8 years.
Okay.
Working up through those different positions.
What advice would you give somebody that's thinking about a career change? Maybe there's somebody in an office who doesn't like that job right now or wants to make the transition to the construction industry. What advice would you give them?
So they are currently not in any kind of...
Not in any construction. They're just in a warehouse job right now, and they're thinking like, I'm in a building all day long. I don't enjoy this. What are some of the things about the construction industry that are exciting or might be attractive to people that want adventure?
I gotcha. Well, I would say the construction industry is always changing. There's always something new or exciting that you're working on. For example, when I was a pipe layer, I was very much used to your regular pipe kind of situations, but I was introduced to the fusion pipe later on, so that was something new that I hadn't done. In general, there's lots of opportunities to grow and to get into different positions, especially if you are working out in the field. You get to be in a lot of different places. You get to see how things work in different counties or different states even, so it's always kind of new and exciting.
And when you say like different states or counties, different counties might have different technical rules or...
Different rules or just in general how they want something to be done. It's always going to be slightly different. And I think that is a good way for you to grow and basically just expand your knowledge in the construction industry, which is great, especially if you want to grow in it.
Yeah, and so this week we're highlighting women in construction. And so what are some of the challenges that you face that you could give a little advice to people out there as a perspective of a woman that has been in the construction industry for almost a decade?
Sure. Challenge-wise, in general, there are not a lot of other women in construction. I will say over my past decade, I have seen more and more getting into the construction roles, which I think is awesome and amazing because it is a really fun and exciting place to be because, again, it's always something new. It's always something different. And I think women in general would be amazing in these roles, and it is a lot of opportunities to grow. And maybe, again, if you took the path I did, it doesn't necessarily need any kind of college experience. It can be very outdoors. Maybe you don't want to be behind a desk kind of situation. This could go for men as well, but I think at least the women I have worked with, it has been really great in general. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be some doubters in general when it comes to women in construction. So you're going to hear it. It sucks. Nobody likes to hear that. But for me, I always just wanted to do my best and I kind of like being able to prove myself to people and to be like, yeah, maybe you don't expect me to do well in this job, but I'm going to do great and I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
That at least motivated me.
Okay. Is it from your background and upbringing, or what is that?
I would also say there's probably not as many women in the farming industries as well, so I did kind of grow up in another male-dominant industry, so I was very used to just
do it.
Putting myself in there and being like, yeah, I belong here just as much as you.
So what are some challenges or lessons learned? Can you give us some examples of...
Like, as a woman or just in general?
It could be just in general, as a woman, whatever you want to... What is something, like, that you didn't maybe think was going to be a challenge and then became a challenge, or something you thought was a challenge and wasn't a challenge?
Right. Okay, for me in general, I thrive on being good at my job. I want to be good at my job.
Yeah.
Things are not always going to go perfectly. It's just the way life is.
It's the construction industry.
It's the construction industry.
You got to be able to pivot.
Things are going to go wrong. Things are going to change, and you're going to have to be able to pivot, and you're going to make mistakes. It's just, everybody does. It's totally normal.
Yeah.
And for me, I would get so upset. I'd be so mad at myself. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. But in hindsight, it was an opportunity to grow, to learn from my mistakes, to be able to change that the next time I got in a situation like that, or to maybe even see it in advance so something like that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, just having that knowledge and repetition and experience from doing it. I will say that, yes, the construction industry is always changing. Like right now, we are in the depths of snow and water and mud and we could probably keep on going on with all those great words about the winter time, but...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing. It's not always going to go at the pace you want to go. You have to be aware, especially when it comes to weather and in the winter. Things are going to slow you down. Mud's going to slow you down. Rain, snow, it's all something you have to be aware of. And maybe you're not going to go as fast as you want to, but you got to do the best you can.
Yeah. Let's talk about leadership, culture. How has the transition to Brubacher been with the culture, with the training? What positive have you seen there, or maybe what can we get better at?
The training aspect has been amazing. Like I said, coming into this really feeling underqualified over the past, what has it been, 8 months now, I now feel a lot more comfortable in my position. I think Brubacher does a great job at being able to transition their new employees to a place where they feel like they're valuable and they can do some good here.
Yeah. Give you the keys and support and let you do your job and training. Any mentors in your life, or has anybody influenced you, or if you want to give a shout out to somebody?
You know, I gotta say my mom has been the best.
Okay.
Because my mom in general has also just been involved in male careers, and she works on the farm as well with the rest of my family. And the way she talked about it, she's like, I would love to see you work off the farm and try something new, see where your potential can take you. And she's always had my back. She's always super excited to hear about my job and what I'm doing new. And like I said, having a woman like that in my life who was also very used to working in male-dominant fields, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's inspirational. And what's Mom's name? Let's give her a proper shout out.
Donna Perry. Hi, Mom. I love you.
That's awesome. Advice for women in construction, if you were to be able, I mean, this is going to go out to thousands of people, hopefully, right? And, and we're going to get it out there. And what advice would you give to people? Or women that want to come into construction industry or are thinking about it?
Do not hold back. Seriously, don't hold back. Show all of your potential. You can go really far in this industry if you want to. There's lots of opportunities. And you're going to have to work with men. That sounds like I'm talking bad on them. I work with some of the most amazing men. And I just think women's potentials in general, they are so smart. And especially women that are currently in construction roles, if you want to move up, you definitely can. You got to find your right fit, and you can really go far, and you can do a lot of good here.
So what do you think the future is for the construction industry? A lot of people are concerned about AI and automation and all that, but what do you think of it?
I'm not super well versed in AI. I know it's definitely something that is up and coming and something people are taking into consideration. For me, considering the leaps and bounds that construction has come over the decades and what we can do now, I think there's still room for growth. I think there's still room for jobs and opportunities for people to be coming into. Maybe we're going to have to work alongside AI, but I still think that there's a big part for us to do.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of jobs, especially like white collar jobs, that are going to be replaced. Accountants, lawyers, that kind of stuff. But physical in the field or in the job site, there's a long time before I think that catches up.
I would agree.
But it is an exciting time. I mean, if you look at just the past 100 years, how much technology has advanced and moved forward, and technology usually wins, right? Like even back in the day when you read those articles about electricity coming into the market and it was going to destroy everybody's house, and it's just amazing how it has changed our lives.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to talk about wrapping it up? Any inspiration you want to give to anybody?
I think in general, construction is, I've said this a couple times, but it's full of opportunities, and I truly think pretty much anyone could thrive in this industry. It's very opening, and people can come into here, maybe not as experienced, but you can grow and you can get into really awesome spots. It's always new, it's always changing. If you want to be, not stuck in the same repetitive situation every day, I think it's a great place to get into. I couldn't say enough good things.
Yeah, and I would just say to people out there, if you are thinking about the construction industry, there's companies like Brubacher, and then there are other companies that support Brubacher. We have subcontractors that we use. We have suppliers that we use. I would say it's okay to try it out. And if you don't like the place that you're at, there's another place, right? Like, find your tribe. Find the niche that you do better than somebody else, because you might not be the best backhoe operator, but you might be an awesome concrete truck driver. That would be my advice to anybody in the construction industry. It's a booming industry. There's a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot of money to be made. Fortunately, in the construction industry, unlike other industries that are less pay scale, are struggling financially, there's just a lot of opportunity in the construction world.
Absolutely. There's so many different sections of construction. You do not have to be at one, find out you don't like it. There's so many other options.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. I know we've been trying to get this scheduled for a period of time, but I would say here too, work comes first. We got to be here now and present and deal with our work schedule stuff. And this podcast is something that we do for fun, and we just try to give our experiences internally and externally in the Brubacher and Beyond podcast. So thank you for your time today. Welcome back to the Brubacher and Beyond podcast, where we are shaping the world we live in so people can find the construction industry uncommonly refreshing. And we are going to keep this rolling with women in construction. That is the theme of these bunch of podcasts that we're doing. We really want to make a push, and we want to show our team members out there and give them some kudos that they deserve for working in a hard industry. And we have another guest with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Megan.
Megan, hello. How are you, Megan, today?
Yeah, how are you?
Good. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Megan.
Well, I grew up around horses and everything, so I've always been kind of tomboyish, never sat still for anything, so working in an office is just
not for you.
Not for me.
You love being outside in the elements, and just that's awesome. So we were talking a little bit before, so how did you get into the construction industry? Like, there's many career paths, but what was your career path? Like, how did you start?
Well, I started in landscaping, and that was good for the first few years. I was 15 when I started, so it was a good starter job. And then saw the Facebook ads of all of the videos from Brubacher and all of the equipment and all of the billboards all over the place. I'm like, looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're like, hey, I got to apply there. So you started off in landscaping, and you drove like skid steers and mini excavators and stuff like that. And then you came to Brubacher, applied. What did you apply for?
I applied for, I think it was just like excavator operator.
Okay.
And then they hired me. Brubacher was the only place that I applied to that I ever heard back from.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was the application process? Like, I'm just interested because I've never gone through it, but how did that work? You go online, you applied.
Yeah, I went on the Brubacher site and I applied for everything. It was super, super easy to fill out and everything. Put my resume in there, and I heard back from them.
So someone from the office pretty quickly called you back and said, hey, we got your application. What was the next step?
I was emailing back and forth with the hiring people, and then scheduled my interview, came in. I had a great conversation with, I think it was Mike and Jordan at that moment. But yeah, other than that, it went over really well.
So people outside of Brubacher, I'm going to highlight our HR department. So you've heard Jordan Keller on the podcast before. He's part of the HR team and new recruits and hires. Chloe is also part of HR, and Hannah is also part of HR. And then you have Carolyn, director of HR. So there's a whole team behind the scenes that's working on recruitment and also working on like career paths. Like we talked about in the construction industry, sometimes you don't know what you don't know until you get into the industry. And I'll let you tell your story of how you started and then where you're at today.
Yeah, so I really knew nothing about construction at all when I started, and I was like, well, might as well give it a try. So I started. After 2 days of orientation, threw me in a pipe crew, and then after a few weeks on pipe crew, I got shoved around to dirt work and all over the place. And then I've been on survey since August.
Okay. So you did some time with the pipe crew. Was it new installation or utilities or
It was
sewer, water?
Running water, sanitary. That was at Dwell at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dwell was the project that you got started on. So now you're in survey. So tell me, what's a day in the life of survey?
Well, we have our schedule so that we look ahead during the week, and then we go to New Morgan and Willowbrook and the different phases of Willowbrook quite a lot during the week.
So current projects that we're currently doing the survey in-house, and what are you doing on those projects? You're flying drones, we're taking topos.
Yep, we did 2 drone flights today. We stake out sanitary and water and then boxes and basically anything that the site people need and request.
So was the drones here when you started in survey?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
the drones are fairly new. I would say within the past 5 years or so, we've incorporated them into our department and using them. Might have been a little longer. I think we started using them pretty heavily on the coal stripping project. But besides that, then it really has taken on into our company. What are some challenges that you see in the construction industry being a woman and let people know about? It sounds like you're always happy and a good attitude and moving forward. Those go a long way, right? And you're trainable. But what other words of wisdom would you give to somebody that's thinking about going into the industry and has never had any construction background?
I just say go for it. That's what I did. I have my mom and my boyfriend supporting me through all of it. Definitely scary to start out.
Okay.
As very few women in our field. No, I just say go for it.
So you're into horses.
I am, yeah.
So is it scary training horses too? Or like how does that farming background or horse background convert to helping you in the construction industry?
Well, like in horses and everything, it's mostly just women. There's really not many men that do it. And so I've always grown up around women running the barn and training all of the horses and doing all of that. So that's how I started out. Just women can do anything.
Yeah. And then in the construction industry, it is a male-dominant world pretty much, but have there been a lot of mentors supporting you? Like, what is that like, or what confidence can we tell people about?
I've ran into some pretty good superintendents and everything that always just help me no matter what, and there's great coworkers that are out there too that have always helped me with anything that I needed.
Okay. Now, your career from pipe to survey now, like, have you ever thought about what's your 30-year goal or 20-year goal from now? Or we're still within the first 5 or 10 years of your career and you're just trying to...
Yep, pretty much. It's kind of day by day, see where it goes.
Okay. So one of the challenges that we do face here in the Northeast is weather. We've had a lot of snow, we've had a lot of rain, the sites are very muddy, sometimes they're frozen in the morning. So what does that look like for you, and what challenges do you face and how do you overcome them?
Especially when we had that like negative degree weather, it was great. We had accommodations, we had a hammer drill able to get us our nails and our stakes in the ground. They blade off all of the snow for us as much as they possibly can. And then the mud is just, they knock them out, we go back and fix them.
And what are we fixing? Just go into detail a little bit about...
The stakes and the nails, because if the nails move, then the elevation and everything could be off to whatever they're trying to build off of the nail.
Gotcha. So someone who is not in construction, how can we describe the nails? Like, what size are they, or where do you put them?
So they're 8-inch nails, and then it has a flat head on it. Hammer those into the ground, and then you put the rover, the GPS on it.
Okay.
And then get the elevation off of that, and then write it on the stake with the other information you need for the stake. Like if you were doing a storm box, you have to do 1 nail, 1 stake on one side, 1 nail, 1 stake on the other side, and to be like a 15-foot off in between. And then they pull 15 off from the nail with their tape measure to set the box.
Gotcha. All right. And that's done for all inlets, that's done for all sanitary, that's pretty common.
Yep, pretty common for everything.
So the weather has been a challenge, freezing, thawing, mud. What other challenges are on site?
just when guys can't see the stakes and they run the stakes over with equipment. Like, it's really hard to see in dozers in front of you and the stakes and everything.
So a lot of time is spent re-staking sites from getting knocked over, and then the elevations on the stakes. Let's go into a little bit about your background of education, and did you decide not to go to further education? Like, when did you make a decision to start in the construction, or what spurred that?
Brubacher actually hired me before I graduated high school. I only graduated high school in the end of May, and then the beginning of March they hired me. So those couple of months were challenging, trying to get schoolwork done and work a full-time job and then also have a horse. So definitely a little challenging.
Gotcha. So what made you make the decision not to go or want to go into the field?
I love being outside. I've always wanted to be outside doing something.
Mm-hmm. So just being outside, running equipment. What in survey is been kind of new? Has there been any advances besides the drone? Or is there anything new, cutting edge that you wanted to talk about?
I'm not entirely super familiar with everything.
Okay.
The GPS to me is new. I'm still
learning. So you're
learning.
fresh. What words of advice would you give to someone who's thinking about joining the construction industry?
There's going to be challenges, no matter what. The more time you spend in it, you'll figure out how to work around those challenges, which is what I did now that I've been here for almost a year.
Okay.
It's gotten better.
And then what do you see the next year or 2 years being? Just staying in survey, learning more, sharpening your skills?
Yeah, probably. There's a lot to learn on survey. There is. With the GPS and everything.
Yeah. Any mentors in your life or people that influenced you? Do you want to give them a shout out?
Probably my mom and my boyfriend, and then my grandmother actually, years and years ago, she worked construction too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is your mom in the construction industry?
No.
She just supported you and said you can do it and go do it.
Yep.
That's awesome. Have you spent any time with Jordan or the HR team? Not yet.
Not really, no.
Not yet. You're pretty locked in on survey. You feel confident. Okay. Tell me about your horse.
Well, she was an off-the-track thoroughbred.
And I don't know any of this, so forgive me. Did she do a circuit track?
Yeah,
Did she do multiple race tracks, or does that animal stay at one track, or how does that work?
I'm not insanely familiar with the racetracks and everything. As far as I know, she raced on grass tracks instead of dirt.
Okay.
As far as I know. Pretty sure she was racing down in Florida, and then she got shipped up to someone in Jersey, and I bought her from that lady in Jersey.
Okay. So that lady in Jersey saved her, or she was too old, or just whatever the circumstances. Then how did you find the lady from Jersey?
The trainer I was training with at the moment found her because another trainer that I know, horse people know everybody.
Okay.
So
it's a tight community of trainers.
Yep.
Okay. So then you got this horse, and then what?
I've been retraining her to be my own personal show horse, and so that's how she's been for the last almost 5 years that I've had her.
So what's a day like? You wake up and take care of your horse in the morning?
My mom actually feeds her in the morning for me because I start at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So my mom is very, very nice and feeds her for me.
Okay.
And then after work, I feed her myself and take care of her.
Gotcha. And train her. How many hours a day do you train? How many hours?
She's had off since the end of August, so she really hasn't done much besides be a little pasture ornament.
Okay. So that goes in stages.
Yep, it's hard during the winter. We don't have an indoor arena or anything, so the ground's just completely frozen solid, so can't really do much during the winter.
Okay. So is that a goal of yours to get an indoor training facility, or?
Yeah, well, that's very expensive.
I bet it is, yes. All right. Awesome. So as we come to a conclusion here at Brubacher and Beyond on our podcast, what words of wisdom would you give somebody that's thinking about getting into the construction industry, especially a young female?
It's mostly kind of just go for it. You always have your supporters, that's your family, and then once you start, it's scary. It was a very scary experience starting out. The more time that I've spent out in the field, it's just better, and I love it more every day.
Keep on building that confidence.
Yeah.
So for everybody here, I just want to say thank you for listening to this podcast. If you like it, share it. If you don't like it, let us know. You can always email me, text us. You can go on LinkedIn. We share it throughout the community, through social media. But again, I think it's attitude, effort, show initiative, and try things out, right? If you don't particularly like one department, there are other departments. And I would say this as a company in Brubacher, there are many opportunities that we have, and maybe one of the departments you don't find fulfilling, and there's another department that you can go into, either it be land clearing, demolition, dirt, pipe, even fleet and maintenance, or even inside the office. There's a lot of opportunity in the construction industry. It's a growing industry, and it's also something that I do talk to my children about. I have 4 daughters. It is a possibility that maybe one of them will want to find out more about the industry or be part of the industry. This is why we're doing this, is to let people know that the construction industry is a great industry to be involved in. Financially, there's great opportunity, but also as an industry, they're always trying to develop and invest into you as well. So thank you for your time today. I appreciate it, and we'll speak to you soon. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Brubacher podcast today. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our podcast so you can listen to the new episodes each month. Share it with your friends in the industry and those who might like to learn more about the construction industry. Feel free to check out our website at www.brubacher.net. I'm Keith Brubacher, president of Brubacher Excavating Incorporated, and we hope you found our discussion insightful, and we look forward to the next time together.